2 flight school employees arrested, accused of kidnapping student to deport him to China. Redding, California. The general manager at IASCO Flight Training in Redding and his assistant have been arrested on suspicion of kidnapping one of the students. Sergeant Gary Meadows said police were tipped off around 7:15 a.m. Friday by the student's brother, who lives in Shanghai, China. Baihan Fu called the Redding Police Department after receiving information that his brother, Tianshu Shi, was assaulted earlier in the morning, Meadows said in a news release. Officers went to Redding Municipal Airport, where IASCO trains its pilots, and arrested Jonathan Lipton McConkey, 48, about an hour after the call came into police, Meadows said. They also arrested Kelsey Hoser, who the department identified as McConkey's assistant. According to police, McConkey and Hoser, 50, went to the alleged victim's residence Thursday night to tell him they were sending him back to China. The pair returned to the residence Friday morning, and when the victim refused to leave, McConkey battered him and threatened physical violence if he did not go with them, police said. Fearing for his safety, she left with McConkey and Hoser, who took him to Redding Municipal Airport, police said. Officers found Shi, McConkey and Hoser at the airport this morning. She had minor injuries and was released after being questioned by police. Shi, who also goes by the name Chris, said he was feeling very bad and that he was shaking, but his 4 other roommates were watching out for him. My inside is bad because I never had this experience before, he said of his mental state. He's only been here for 7 months, he said. During the morning incident, he alleged McConkey came to his residence and was cursing. It frightened him, she said. He's very rude, used too much dirty words. I can't describe, he said. More, 2 Chinese flight students shaken over experience with IASCO staff during an exclusive interview with the Record Searchlight Saturday. She produced an audio recording he said he made in the early hours on Friday when McConkey and Hoser showed up at his home. She played the audio on his smartphone for the Record Searchlight and allowed a reporter to record it. The 3 people heard on it, a man speaking loudly in English, a woman who speaks both English and Mandarin, and she, do not state their names during the recording. The details in their conversation fit with the statements police have made about the incident. Sergeant Meadows, who has been handling the investigation, did not immediately respond to an email sent Saturday afternoon asking him to confirm whether investigators have a similar recording. She said he has no idea why he was supposed to be sent back to China. More. As Trump crackdown continues, more undocumented immigrants are choosing to self-deport. She told police McConkey and Hoser battered him and forced him to leave the house to go back to China. It all started about 11 p.m. on Thursday when she said he was visited by Hoser and McConkey and was told to have his things ready and packed to leave for the airport the next day at 6 a.m. He was never given a reason why, he said, and refused to leave. I said I didn't receive any documents from China, so I decided not to go back, he said. She said he enrolled in the program through Civil Aviation Flight University of China. She said he didn't sleep all night and believed his roommates had been told to watch him. When McConkey and Hoser showed up at his home, she said he decided to record audio of the incident. You're going home, with or without your luggage, a male voice is heard saying. A woman's voice is also clearly audible, speaking Mandarin to Shi. Then, the woman raises her voice and switches to English, demanding that she do the same. If you cannot speak English, you are not going to be able to stay here, the woman is heard saying. She is heard faintly referencing the documents he says he hasn't received. The man replies that she is in his custody. Do you understand what in my custody means? Do you understand? It means I will forcibly remove you, the male voice says. If you want the police to come with guns, I got you on that. All right? You ass is leaving right now. Let's, profanity, go. The man's voice is heard saying he has Shi's passport. Boy, don't, profanity, with me, do you understand? The male voice says. She asks if the man is threatening him. Your ass is getting on the plane right now or I'll break your, profanity, arm. You better believe I'm, profanity, threatening you. And the United States government needs you out of this country right now, you understand? The male voice says. You are here illegal, you know that. If you don't go with us, you go to jail, the female voice says. You're going to jail if you don't go with me, the male voice adds. More, the UK has dreamers, too. And Britain is trying to deport them. She has been in the United States approximately 7 months. He arrived on an M1 visa, which is allotted to students who enroll in vocational programs. He said his visa is valid for 1 year, and his university paid approximately $70,000 for him to train at IASCO. But for the past 2 months, he's been grounded, unable to fly or train. He said he's never had an issue with his flight skills, but suspects he was removed from training because of his English. I can't speak English well in life, but I can speak English well with air traffic control, he said. During the confrontation with McConkie, she said the manager gripped his right arm and bent his left side over the kitchen island. Saturday morning, he said he was still experiencing pain in his right arm. She's roommate, who spoke on condition that he not be named out of concern for his safety, said he witnessed the whole altercation. It's ridiculous, they can't treat us like this, the roommate said. They treated Shi like an animal, not a human being. She said he was unsure what he could and couldn't do. I don't know American laws, he said. She called his brother Fu in China to tell him what was happening. Fu, who she said spoke better English,